If the CEO of your label spend 5 hours with you going over your music, that's a good sign that you're with someone that cares about what you're doing.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now. You know, once in a while there's this new young band that starts popping up that you see the industry really investing in. One of those bands is TEMPT from New York City. They had a really cool new single called Living Dangerously, and everybody's getting pretty excited about a new album that will come out early in next year. To learn all about it, I sat down with the guys themselves and had a really fun conversation. There we go. We are here with the guys of TEMPT, a very interesting young band. I was supposed to talk to you guys a few weeks ago, but we had to reschedule, but that would be the morning after your show at the Mercury Lounge. So how did that go?
Great. It was great. It was amazing. I mean, it was kind of weird because it's basically been like 2 years since we played. This is the start of COVID almost. So, which is the longest both of us have gone without playing since we were like 18 or 17 or something. I know. So it was definitely a weird show to come back to. It's the first time I felt like a little bit of, stage jitters in a while. I mean, that feeling had completely gone away after like the first year of playing shows, and then again I was like, oh god, it's like a totally different experience.
It felt good to be nervous again for something, because like we did over the pandemic, we did a bunch of shows in our studio and we live streamed them, and we had lights and made it really cool and made it a vibe, but playing in front of people, like, you just kind of forgot about how totally exciting that is.
The energy is totally different.
Yeah,
totally different.
I think this third song I was like, oh my god, we're on stage again. Like, it
was very surreal.
It was a pinch me moment.
I speak obviously to a lot of bands and bands that have started playing shows again, especially those that released pretty successful singles or a new full album already under the pandemic. They've reacted with like, well, it was cool to see a lot of likes and a lot of shares and a lot of streams, but now just seeing actual people reacting to new material in a positive way is an amazing feeling. I assume that was the same for you guys.
Yeah, there's nothing that beats that. It's so hard to tell, like, online these days. I mean, because like, we have like Facebook and Instagram, we do TikTok now, and there's just so many different things going on, and it's kind of hard to like get a sense of where people are really at and stuff. I mean, obviously, over the pandemic, like Zach said, we did a few live stream shows. We also did some kind of like fun live stream hangouts with our fans. So we're always trying to engage with people through social media, and we've formed some amazing relationships that way. But yeah, nothing beats actually having people in the room and seeing the reaction firsthand when it's going on. And
we were able to play a couple like new songs that people had never heard before.
Right.
And it's always good. It's always good to be able to road test your songs a little bit, even if it was just one show, to get an idea. Oh, maybe this verse should be extended or cut a little bit. And I think it was one of the songs where we played for the first time. After the show, we were like, maybe we should make some change, like minor changes, structural stuff. So it's important to.
It's always good to see the crowd reaction to a new song, because when they're into it, you have a good song, and if they're not that into it, you go, okay, maybe we won't play this.
We'll put that on the back burner.
I know that, whenever you guys release a new song or there's some live footage, people start throwing names of, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi at you guys. Now, let's be honest, unless you guys look extremely good for your age, you weren't around when those bands were in their heyday. Do you agree with those musical influences? And if these bands really did influence you so much, like, where does that come from?
Everyone in the band is a musician at first. First is, Nick's a great drummer, Chris is a great bass player, I'm the guitar player, Zach's the singer. So I think if you're serious about an instrument, especially an instrument like the guitar or being a male vocalist, you're always going to kind of learn from the 60s, 70s, 80s, where the kind of playbook of showmanship and songwriting and how to play the guitar and how to sing that was written. So I think if you're going to be in a rock band, you're always going to have that, like, kind of the founding fathers of rock influencing your music. Obviously, we love all sorts of bands, from, like, you know, Rush to the Cars to Def Leppard, kind of spanning that era. So there's definitely some influence there. And we you know, what we really want to do is we want to, you know, take rock to, you know, the next level in terms of, you know, being in 2021 and not be derivative of those bands and kind of just write the same things. We want to take that aesthetic of rock, you know, that was fun rock, like you said, and showmanship and great playing, and bring that into the modern era. Because we, you know, we don't just listen to those bands. I mean, we're influenced by the Killers, we're influenced by Kanye West, or, you know, we just done all sorts of different covers and studied production of all sorts of people. You know, we love The Weeknd. So we're trying to take all those influences, you know, of stuff we like from the past greats, and with modern production, and just kind of have fun with, you know, doing that.
Yeah. I mean, Jasper, I think you said it best. When people come to our shows, they're not going to expect, you're not going to see us frowning and being upset on stage, because genuinely being on stage is our favorite thing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
that's
right.
I mean, I think I can speak for all of us in the band when I say, like, being, like, we do it because we love being on stage. We love connecting with our fans and having a good time. And it's just, it's all genuine, man. It really is. In my tragedy, I can't let you away. You're under my skin.
Now, we've obviously seen the new, single, and also the video for Living Dangerously, which, let's be honest, contrasts quite a bit to the movie it is part of as well, because the song is part of The Retaliators, which is a horror movie, came out a few weeks ago. Now, talking about bands that do horror movie soundtracks, if you think about a band that, for me, jumped out when I was listening to some of your older stuff, especially your song, Hot Summer Dreams.
Hot summer nights, hot summer dreaming of you.
The start of that song for me was like, this feels like In My Dreams from Dokken, which was also obviously a band in the 80s that did one of the Freddy Krueger movie soundtracks, I think, Demon Warriors. Is that another band that's up there for you guys that you listen to, or is that just a fluke?
I mean, I wouldn't say that our music, we get much of our music as an influence from Dokken, though. Especially as a kid growing up, I did listen to my fair share of Dokken. And I mean, if you're learning guitar, I mean, I love George Lynch and the riffs and stuff. So I don't think that was a direct thing, but I mean, I've definitely listened to enough Dokken in my life.
He's showed me Dokken. I could see the comparison though with the starting of with the backup.
Yeah,
I could see what you mean.
just the beginning, right? Just
and
the beginning
being
of the
in
song.
there.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Now on the single, you've obviously got the guest with Dorothy Martin, whose voice complements, you know, the sound really, really well. I think you're very happy with how that turned out. So we're talking about, you know, a single was released, an album is coming. Let's talk about that upcoming album. Are there more surprises, collaborations that we should expect? What can you tell us about the upcoming album?
There might be. There hasn't been anything planned on that yet, but you know, we will have 2 more singles coming out. One should be coming out, I don't know, relatively soon.
Hopefully really soon.
And then the full record will be released first quarter of this coming year. So that would be in a few months, basically. And we're really excited about that. And so that, I mean, that's basically all we have on the record front.
Yeah.
We got a couple more singles coming out, record coming out, and I don't know, there could be there's never, especially today with how modern recording is, and you know, for example, Chris Lord-Alge mixed our record in LA, and it was me on the phone with him sending stuff back and forth. So, you know, if we all of a sudden we get an opportunity to have someone get on a song, that can happen, you know, in a week. All it takes.
Sure.
So
we've been done with this record since the beginning of 2020. So we are so eager. We've been working on our second record actively now, while having the first record like ready to go. So we're super eager, but excited for everybody to hear it. And as you mentioned, Dorothy was a a great compliment to the song. When our Chris Lord-Alge sent us the mix with Dorothy on it, I was listening to it walking down the street, and she comes in the second verse, and she sang the first line, and I was like, wait, where's Dorothy? That's still me. And like that's a total compliment to her, because she, like I said, she blended so well. She added some real cool parts and was fun to work with.
You guys touched on a few things that I do want to go a little deeper into. Let's maybe first start with some of the people that you've got surrounding you guys. You know, from your PR team as well. You know, you're working with very experienced people. But let's talk about Chris, for example, your producer. Also, Andy managing you guys. There's a lot of experience around let's be honest, relatively young band still. That's a great compliment to a young band, to see all these people being so invested. Does that also help with staying grounded as an artist? Because we've seen many examples of bands not being able to stay grounded at an early stage. How is that, working with these people that can kind of, you know, tell you this is how that goes, this is what I would suggest, and so on? Or are they staying very hands off?
You know, I would say it definitely helps to stay grounded, but I mean, to begin with, I think we're really lucky. I mean, this could obviously change, but everyone in the band is, we're all relatively smart. I think we're all relatively grounded. We're pretty chill people. So luckily, you know, we really all get along and really friends outside the band. And, you know, in terms of staying grounded, I think, you know, one of the main contributions is, especially for someone like Chris Lord-Alge, is getting that type of feedback that's hard to get when you're an artist. You know, we never really made demos for this record. Same with the next record which we're working on now, because, you know, like with modern recording and you're working in Pro Tools or Logic or whatever the DAW you're working in, the song just flows naturally. Like there's no really need to make a demo anymore. So you lay down the rough guitar track, you know, you might go back and re-record it, but you're still building the song around and producing the song around that. Right. So we spent a lot of time with the songs on the record, because we had studio time for recording certain things, but a lot of it was in my home studio and in different people at different places. So we spent a lot of time with it, a lot of time listening to it. And then when Chris got on board, he just having that perspective of fresh ears, because sometimes you can get so bogged down. You've like listened to the same thing you've done for months, and one day you wake up and you're like, God, this is the best song we've ever heard. This is amazing. And then like 5 minutes later, you're like, does this song suck? You're like, like. And he really came on board too as a creative partner. It never felt like, oh, this is Chris Lord-Alge, he's won a Grammy for Green Day and he has 5 seconds. Or like, he has all these potentials of 5 seconds of summer. But it never felt like, you know, we were never afraid to push back against things he said, and he was always receptive to what we had to say. So it was great to have him come in and really believe in what we were doing and just be into it as by himself, and just be like a creative partner rather than like dictating to us or us not going along with anything he says. So it was a really like fluid way to work on it, which was great.
I think you said it really well. And honestly, like Harrison was saying, all these guys that we've worked with who have so much experience, don't talk down to us. It's all very collaborative, and they all support our vision, and they all understand it, and they champion us. I mean, the head of our label, Alan Kovac, who is such a legend in the industry, literally came to our studio and spent like 3 or 4 hours with us going through every single song on the record and saying, the claps need to be higher here, and maybe you should cut this verse in half or extend it or something like that. So to have people like that come around us, and
was probably more like 5 hours. If the CEO of your label spend 5 hours with you going over your music, that's a good sign that you're with someone that cares about what you're doing.
Exactly as you just said it, but you know, we're working on our second album, our first album. You know, we're just waiting to start promoting it. So where does your previous album Runaway sit? So is that is the new album coming out? Is this like the fresh new start for the band? Should we expect you guys to look ahead only, or what's going on?
I would say that's kind of like the beta album. We
were 18 when we wrote that record.
Yeah,
so it feels so full.
I think the record. What was the release date? 26.
But you know what happens with first albums when it was written by an 18-year-old, right? In 20 years, that's the album the fans will pay thousands of dollars
Exactly.
for.
I mean, we don't shy away from that record. I mean, we love that record. I think they have some great songs on that, and we released the record years after we actually wrote it because I was in school and then Zach was in school. And so we'd already written and recorded the record, but we couldn't pursue the band as much as we wanted to because we had other obligations. And then finally, once I graduated, we got together and said, okay, let's seriously pursue this. And that's when we released the record and we started really playing a lot. And that's when Nick and Chris ended up joining the band. Before that, because we were only playing a few shows a year with our schedules, my brother played bass sometimes, cousin played, and we had kind of like a revolving door of bass players and drummers that weren't really kind of official members. When Nick and Chris joined, and Zach and I actually have known Nick for a long time, and he came back to New York and I was like, do you want to play drums in our band? And he said, sure.
We finally joined forces.
So when they joined, that's kind of where spiritually, like I feel like that's like really the start of the band. And that would be the record that Living Dangerous is on. They didn't play on Runaway, but we still play songs from that record. I think that record's great. It is kind of in a weird spot though, because it is technically our first record, but now with the new guys, it's like kind of feels like we restarted, even though we did. Even though we're not like trying to get rid of it, it does feel like we restarted a little bit. It's in a confusing place, but it's a great record. For anyone listening, if you haven't listened and if you haven't heard any of our music and you don't want to wait a few months for this record to come out, listen to Living Dangerous, then go listen to that record, and then
I would go LD
the new
first.
record will be out.
I would go Living Dangerous first, then go to our record.
Make it happen, you make it happen, boy, you never felt so alive.
If I'm not mistaken, you've played with Bon Jovi before.
Yes.
And at the same time now, you're also on the lineup for Hellfest, which, having been at Hellfest, I can tell you slightly different from the Bon Jovi crowd. So how is that for you, playing all these different shows? Because the positive that you can play for a lot of people sometimes also is the challenge that you're never the right fit for that audience. How is that for you?
We are as genuine as we can be. We, like I said, love being on stage, and even if everyone's frowning at us, we'll smile right back at them. And hopefully that's not the case at Hellfest. I know there are bands like Aerosmith playing, so I mean, I think we'll be okay. But if you have any pointers, man, let us know, because you've been and we haven't.
Well, I mean, and it's not just Hellfest, right? Because you're doing Download as well, I believe, in the UK.
Yeah, Download, Rock Am Ring, Grass Pop,
Well, yeah. So out of those, and that's maybe also just because I'm a Belgian, moved to Canada a couple of years ago, but I still go to Grass Pop every year, and that's definitely my favorite. I think you'll find the organization there is top notch. But I don't know if you've done many European festivals, but you're gonna love them, and you're never gonna want to go back to New York.
Never. We've played no shows in Europe.
This will be our first time next year.
We're really excited. I go to Europe a few times a year now because my sister lives over there, and I'm so excited to be playing over there.
Always the dream.
Here's my one tip: when you play all these festivals, whether it's Hellfest in France or Grass Pop in Belgium, enjoy yourself, but drink the beers after your set because they tend to be a little heavier than North America.
We usually have that as a rule.
We don't really partake in anything fun before the show.
Before the show, there's no fun. We kind of we bottle it all up for them when we get off the stage.
We chug waters, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, I know. I've been to Belgium when I was younger, and I remember the beers they got a pack a punch. Oh yeah, it's so good too. So
well, hey man, if you want to live dangerously, You need to test those Belgian beers.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think you'll have a lot of fun at these festivals. And the great thing about it is that you get to see and experience bands from all flavors and also crowds from all flavors. And I think you'll win over a lot of people in this new continent for you as a band. I look forward to the release of the new album. I can't wait for those singles you were teasing. And when that happens, we'll have to touch base again to see what else is new. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your time. And like I said, I wish you all the best for the release cycle in Q1 of next year, we were told, which is not that far off anymore.
Not far off. We're pumped. We hope to, maybe next year, Grass Pop, we can all have a pint together.
Gotta live a little dangerous, gotta live a little dangerous.
I'm going to shamelessly plug us really quick on everything for our social media and stuff. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything is TEMPT Band. So we're always posting some fun, unique content. We appreciate everyone that's joined us and followed us and shared us and spread the word. And we hope that you guys continue to do so and follow along. We have a good time.
Awesome. And all those links will be in the description below this video. So no worries there. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and can't wait to hear more new music.
Absolutely.
Great. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having
Jasper.
us. See ya.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.